Hi, everybody. My name is Jim Egbert. I'm going to talk to you about commercial fishing vessel safety today. Fishermen have the most dangerous occupation in the country, according to the U.S. Labor Department and possibly even the world. They're more dangerous, there are more fatalities for commercial fishermen than there are police officers or firefighters, for example. In the 1980s, the death rate was so high that the federal government stepped in and the Coast Guard implemented the Commercial Fishing Vessel Safety Act in an attempt to reduce these fatalities. So let's take a start here by looking at why this is so dangerous. Well, first, it's a dynamic and dangerous environment that they work in. So they're working on a moving deck that's rolling around in the sea, pushing through the waves, and there's sea spray, so the deck is coated with water and it's constantly moving. Uh, the crew is working hard. This is a very arduous environment. As you may have seen in the TV show The Deadliest Catch, which depicts the commercial fishing crab fishery in Alaska, Alaska's Bering Sea. So can be very fatigued working through the night, lifting and bringing those pots on board. Those pots in the show weigh 800 pounds each, empty. So uh, that all adds up to a very dangerous situation. So let's take a look at some of the emergencies that happen on board. Man overboard is the first one. Uh, Staying out of the water is critical. The water in the deadliest catch is often below 50 degrees. The ability to recover a man who has gone into the sea is it's hard. It's hard to keep an eye on him as the waves are breaking and the ship is moving. Maneuvering a large ship to pick up a person out of the water is a real challenge. So, stay out of the water is the first lesson. Capsizing, taking on water, or sinking are other things. Capsizing because of an overloaded situation or maybe an icing situation. Fire is another very dangerous thing at sea. Uh, there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to go but jumping in the water to avoid the fire. Injuries can be compounded because they are so far from medical or emergency services. The ship's captain often has to also work as the ship's doctor. So, groundings when you're working closer to shore or returning to port after a long time fishing at sea, um, can break up a boat very quickly when they land on the rocks or even on a sandy beach. Here's an example, a couple examples of emergencies that have happened. Here's a boat that went aground right on the beach, and you can see that they're pivoting right on some rocks there, and those even small waves coming in and rolling that around is going to destroy that boat very quickly. Here's a picture of a Coast Guard crew fighting a fire on board a commercial fishing vessel. Here's the bow of the fishing vessel right there, and this is the pilot house where they drive from, right in the middle of those flames. The other example I have is a capsizing, and this boat rolled over on its side, and perhaps because it was overloaded or icing situation, was unable to recover. That boat probably going to sink. So, keeping this in mind, the government came up with rules in the Commercial Fishing Vessel Safety Act to uh, gives specific equipment requirements for commercial fishing vessels, the communications equipment, and EPIRBs, which is an emergency position indicating radio beacon, which sends a satellite signal to the Coast Guard to respond to the emergency. Rafts, survival suits, firefighting equipment, all are required depending on where the boat fishes. And The one that I think is the most important is conducting drills so that you're prepared when an emergency happens. When a boat capsizes and rolls on its side, there's very little time to respond to the emergency. And it usually happens at night or during a storm. So, being prepared by having done drills is essential. So, the Commercial Fishing Vessel Safety Act has reduced fatalities by 35%, according to Peg Murphy, the California Fishing Vessel Safety Coordinator for the U.S. Coast Guard. So, in conclusion, fishermen are better prepared than ever to face the inevitable emergencies that come and that arise from working in such a dynamic and dangerous environment. Thank you.